Thank you for tuning into Wildcast. I'm Toby Schmidt.
And I'm Michael Hernandez. Tonight is our Semester in Review show, where we're taking a look back at the best packages of the semester. Toby, let's start off with yours.
Announcements was made by NASA, who are confident that there is in fact water on Mars. I had the opportunity to interview one of the scientists who was part of the discovery and who also works here at the U of A. Strong evidence of water on Mars, Olympic-sized pools of salty water, have been found by a group of scientists, including two from the U of A, Dr. Alfred McEwen and Matt Shinaki. They found streaks in photos of the surface of Mars that would run downhill slopes and fade in the cold and dry seasons, just as water would. 10 years ago, the U of A sent up HiRISE, the highest resolution telescope ever sent to another planetary body.
So water on Mars has been discussed in previous publications and announcements, and that is usually due to the evidence of ancient water. Here we're talking about current water on Mars that's seeping out of the surface that we can observe in images that were taken weeks ago. You have to remember that Mars has less than 1% of the Earth's atmosphere. It's drier than any of the driest places on Earth, and the water there just up until 5 years ago, we just didn't think it could ever exist on the surface.
This whole discovery began 5 years ago when Luju Iwaiju, a U of A undergrad at the time, worked here as a digital terrain model specialist. His job was to take photos from HiRISE and essentially create topographical maps of Mars, the same maps we use to go hiking. While doing this, he discovered dark streaks in the photos, also known as reoccurring slope lineae, and found they might be associated with water.
You can see these dark streaks more clearly, and you can see in one image it's kind of like a thicker dark streak, but then it splits off later on. So we see these things happening over the courses of like weeks, days, months. But something that's interesting about these is that they disappear and then they come back at a different time of year. So this is actually the water that's seeping up. It's really cool. We get to see a lot of images that not many people have seen, and we're some of the first people to start processing all of the data.
It is really exciting. I mean, this is something that many scientists have speculated on. We have found many other sort of hints of evidence of this sort of past liquid environment on Mars. You never know what you're going to find when you're staring at the surface of Mars for 8 hours a day.
HiRISE is estimated to have fuel for about another 10 years, which is hopefully enough time for even greater discoveries about the red planet. Reporting from the University of Arizona for Wildcast, I'm Toby Schmidt.
The University of Arizona has one of the top-ranked astronomy programs in the country, which is no surprise. However, you may be surprised to learn that one of the reasons for their success lies underneath Arizona Stadium. Wildcast reporter Zach Heineck has the story.
The University of Arizona is one of the largest research institutions in the country, and for the past 30 years has been the home to the Richard F. Karras Mirror Lab. Located directly underneath the Lowell Stevens football stadium, the Mirror Lab has produced some of the world's largest telescope mirrors that currently operate in various locations across the globe. The process of casting and polishing these glass mirrors was developed by the University of Arizona's Stewart Observatory Mirror Lab scientists and engineers, and the average cost of one of these mirrors is around $20 million. So why does the Mirror Lab want to open their doors to the public?
Well, the real purpose in outreach, I think, is to give everyone an idea of what an important role the University of Arizona plays in exploring the universe. And we are really the only place in the entire world that has the technology and engineering to spin cast mirrors.
These tours help explain the process of casting mirrors in the Mirror Lab and the importance of U of A's involvement in this groundbreaking research. And the Richard F. Karras Mirror Lab has made the possibility of visiting this location incredibly easy.
The general public is welcome to purchase a ticket and go on the tour. The tours are 90 minutes in length, and we show them how we make these giant telescope mirrors.
Here, located just on the east side of the football stadium, is where the Richard F. Karras Mirror Lab tour begins. The tour group then goes inside where they reach a conference room where they'll watch an informational video to start their tour. So next time you find yourself cheering for the Wildcats at a U of A football game, just remember that you're standing on top of over 30 years of truly groundbreaking research and innovation. Reporting live for UATV Channel 3, I'm Zach Heineck.
While the university celebrated its 101st homecoming in October, Arizona's Greek life celebrated 100 years of being on campus. Wildcast reporter Lexi Oakley was on scene to cover some of the Greek festivities.
The U of A has been home to approximately 90 sororities and fraternities since 1915.
The University of Arizona celebrated its 100th Greek homecoming this weekend. Events included the Geraldo Rivera Park groundbreaking, as well as the White Light Party, where alumni from various chapters throughout the years are celebrated.
Our strong foundations date back to our first national chapter, Kappa Sigma, in 1915.
So our chapter is very proud to be the fraternity responsible for the 100th being this year. We were founded 100 years ago in 1915, and we've been off and on since then, but for the most part, our chapter's had a strong presence here at the University of Arizona, and we're very proud of that.
The Pride of Arizona kicked off the festivities by touring around campus and performing for various groups.
This Thursday night at the block party, we had a huge, decorated our whole house and everything, Greek themed. So we got to mingle with alumni that came through our house.
White Light partygoers enjoyed an alumni dinner and were able to take photos with old friends in a photo booth with various props.
This is what grows the future. They're the people that are out there putting themselves out there. So it's really exciting to think that the Greeks have been established that long for that on one campus.
It's really a lot of fun to see how the university has changed. It's so much bigger than it was 50 years ago. I came for my 25th reunion, so I haven't been a complete stranger, but to come back and see how it's thriving, how the community itself has grown is quite stirring, and it makes me feel very optimistic about the future.
Reporting from the UA Mall for Wildcast, I am Alexis Oakley.
We're in the home stretch of the first half of the school year, but for new students having trouble adjusting to their new surroundings, it often takes more than a semester to get used to college. I investigated across campus in search of tips to help students get acclimated to university life. College is often viewed as the best time in a person's life, but the struggle new students face adjusting to campus is something rarely discussed. The pressures that come with arriving to a new school as a full-time student often contribute to low graduation and freshman retention rates. According to the latest data from the Department of Education, Arizona's 3 public state universities have a graduation rate of 59.8%, higher than the 55% national average, but that still means nearly 40% of people who enroll don't make it to graduation.
We are working very, very hard on first and second year retention, and so helping more freshmen that get started with us stay here with us for that second year. The more that stay here for that second year, the more likely they are to graduate. So we're working very hard to increase those graduation rates overall.
Living with strangers in the dorms can also lead to loneliness and self-isolation. But help is available for students feeling overwhelmed. When students need someone to talk with about their problems, they're free to come here to Campus Health and make an appointment with a counselor from Counseling and Psych Services, or CAPS for short, who can provide them with the strategies and support they need to adjust.
If you give it time, you'll find your people. Even if it's just a few people. If you're an introvert and you're going to have 2 friends from college, that's fine. You'll find them eventually, but probably not in the first 3 weeks. If you find them in the first 3 weeks, you're lucky. And if not, just give it time and keep getting involved with things and connecting with people as much as you can. And you'll find your way, but give it more time than you think.
While students may experience their own unique struggles, feeling out of place is something all can relate to. But getting involved is often the key to gaining a sense of belonging.
I adjusted really, really well. I think that if you get involved in like a lot of the events on campus, that you get like more excited, and it's just easier for you to get like, I don't know, wrapped up into campus life. I think just, keep in touch with your family so you feel like you still have that aspect of your life, and then try and just make like really close friends, because your friends will become your family, so that helps a lot.
Taking advantage of the many resources at their disposal is sure to help students in making the University of Arizona their new home away from home. Reporting from Old Main for Wildcast, I'm Michael Hernandez.
Well, hopefully students aren't still homesick, but if they are, we've only got like 3 weeks left, so.
I can't wait. A lot's happened over the school year.
Yeah.
That you don't seem to realize when you're doing a show every week.
Until we watch all of these packages. And
exactly.
It's been a good year.
Well, She's not a reporter, but she's worked just as hard every week to give you an accurate forecast. And that's our weather reporter, Virginia Beamer.
Thanks, guys. It was actually beautiful all year long here in Tucson, Arizona, and today was kind of an exception. Although it looked beautiful outside, it was kind of frigid. 61 degrees was our high temperature outside today. That didn't happen until late afternoon. We'll talk about that and more coming up.
Hi, Rich Rodriguez, head football coach, University of Arizona, and you're watching UATV. Go Bear Down.
Wildcast, I'm Toby Schmidt.
And I'm Michael Hernandez.
Welcome to Wildcast. I'm Sarina Nafarrate.
And I'm Danielle Carp.
Welcome to Wildcast. I'm Max.
And I'm Jackie Kent. Welcome to Wildcast.
Welcome.
Welcome and welcome. Welcome.
And welcome to another edition of Wildcast.
I'm Derek Williams, your former U of A Wildcat. You're watching UATV. Don't change the channel.
Welcome back. Campus safety should always be a top priority for students traveling to and from class. But how can those who live on or near campus keep themselves safe at home? Wildcast reporter Hunter Sampson has more about burglary prevention.
Campus safety is important to everyone at the University of Arizona, especially to those who live on and around campus. UAPD works hard to keep campus safe every year, and they release an annual report to inform students and faculty about crime. They've seen a drop in burglary in recent years, but students must take responsibility as well as UAPD. I talked to a student about her recent run-in with burglary just outside of campus.
So our roommate left this store unlocked on accident because she went through the gate. We kind of figured like 6 houses, it wasn't a big deal. Someone came in, they stole a backpack with some clothes in it. They stole my wallet. I'm a diabetic. They stole all my needles, my medication. They got a good amount of stuff.
My name is George, Officer George Epley. First off, really the daytime is an issue because so many of the students are in classes and for the most part, a lot of the res halls, dorms are left unoccupied. What often happens, will or can tailgate into the front door behind students or employees. In the event, for some reason, if they have a backpack over their shoulder, they can, of course, be mistaken for a student. They will come in after cat carded in and simply roam the hallways freely. Sometimes, and of course, nobody questions them because they don't have any ID, outward ID. They're like trying to backpack. So they look for open doors. They simply walk down the hallways, and when a door is left unlocked, they push down on the handle, open the door, walk in. Now they can be inside the room. Oftentimes, students will leave their valuables in there, and this is where we see a large, some of the, I would say, a high number of, but it does occur and can be prevented simply by locking the door.
Reminders about being aware of their surroundings, along with CAT card and an access code needed to enter their dorms, make students safer around campus. But safety and security, especially outside of their dorms, includes students taking responsibility to lock their doors. Reporting for Wildcast at UATV3, I'm Hunter Sampson.
Recently, the city of Tucson announced that Grant Road between Oracle and Swan is getting a makeover as they begin the second phase of the street's widening project. Wildcast reporter Kendra Hall attended a public meeting about the forthcoming plans and who will be affected.
There was an informational meeting this week to discuss the widening of Grant Road. The meeting was open to the public and it was crowded.
The widening of Grant Road may seriously affect some U of A students. The road is currently under construction and will be widened to 6 lanes.
When the project's done, there's going to be much nicer sidewalks than exist today, much better bike lanes than exist today. There's going to be more crossings at Grant to allow pedestrians to cross the street.
This widening project will ease traffic on Grant and it will be much more bike friendly.
It'll be a great way for me to actually get
it's been hard to find a safe way to get all the way to like Swan and Broadway. So Grant would be a great option if it were actually wider with safer for bikes.
I think it's good, even though I don't cycle too often. I think it's good as a driver because it's always a concern for when I'm driving that if there is just a lot of traffic and there's a car that might be in the left lane that swerves towards me and there's a biker next to me, what do I do? And so it kind of alleviates any of those potential situations, and I think it's just all around a wise idea because it's better for the safety of bikers.
The improvements will be made on Grant Road between Oracle and Swan. Reporting from Grant Road for UATV, I'm Kendra Hall.
There's always something going on in Tucson, but Wildcast reporter Joshua Morales took a road trip north to the Triangle L Ranch in Oracle in search of something glowing on and has the story.
Hi, welcome to the 12th annual Glow event here in Oracle, Arizona. Dancing and fire play captivated the audience as professional dancers illuminated the stage with amazing performances. The event had live music and a wall in which guests could use colored chalk to brighten up the ambiance.
The event itself started 12 years ago when Sharon invited some of her friends to come up from Tucson and from around here and install some large lit art and play some music and enjoy a party. I had my grandson and his friend here to help me tonight, but you notice they're not here. They're out having fun somewhere.
Guests listened to songs around bonfires, and porcelain angels seemed to float in the darkness of the Glow Ranch. Although the fire dancers were the main spectacle of the event, huge color-changing globes, light displays, traveling music cars, and a static neon television brought life to the theme of the event, What Makes Your Heart Glow. Guests wrote on white pieces of cloth what made them happiest and hung them with other responses on a crisscrossed iron wall. The event has sold out each weekend so far and will have 2 more showings before Halloween on October 17th and the 24th. Wear your brightest costumes and join the nighttime art experience. For information on Glow, visit www.trianglelranch.com. Covering for UATV Channel 3 from the Triangle L Ranch in Oracle, Arizona, Joshua Morales.
Last month, Tucson Comic-Con was in action for lovers of all things comics, video games, and science fiction. Wildcast reporter Sheridan Fiddleman visited the event and got in touch with their inner cosplayer.
The 8th annual Tucson Comic-Con was held at the Convention Center over the weekend. The event kicked off November 6th and continued until the 8th.
Comic-Con is so much fun. We get a chance to dress up, show our inner geek, show our love for everything that's comic book and sci-fi, and just have a great time. It's almost like an extension of Halloween in a way. It's a place where all your dreams and fantasies can come true for one day.
Fans came together and had a great weekend. From costume contests to Star Wars trivia, there was a little something for everybody.
There's so much going on and so many different costumes, so many different booths and vendors and everything everywhere.
Comic-Con is a way to bring the world of comics to life. And according to fans, it gives them the opportunity to step out of their own lives and become somebody else for the weekend. This year, Comic-Con was held over the span of 3 days as opposed to when it's normally just 2 days. Fans and vendors loved having Comic-Con here in Tucson for that one day more and hope that it'll become a tradition from now on. Fans got to enjoy special performances by live DJs and the comedians from Tucson Comedian Art Festival.
It's a good gathering place for people like myself to meet other writers, creators from other books out of state that you wouldn't normally have the opportunity to meet.
And for the first time ever, Tucson's Comic-Con teamed up with Tucson's Diamond Children's Center to provide a unique experience for the children. With over 15,000 people in attendance, it's safe to say that Comic-Con held another successful year. Reporting at the Tucson Convention Center for Wildcast, I'm Sheridan Fiddleman.
Toby, you're from Chicago, so you might think that we're just a little soft, but it is cold right now for Tucsonans.
Yeah, I mean, I see people wearing like beanies, and I'm like, okay, not quite.
Well, You know what? In fact, I would call the weather outside frightful, but Virginia's Beamer's forecast is so delightful. Virginia, what's your holiday forecast looking like?
Well, I wouldn't exactly call things frightful. If you take a look at our low temperature today, 61 degrees outside was our high. Now that's nowhere near our low temperature, our low temperature record, which was 23, set back in 1909. Now that itself is frightful. Here I would call it more so a little bit frigid, cool, but other parts of the country are seeing it a lot worse than we are, or in other people's eyes, a lot better than we are. Also, 30 degrees was our low last night, and 30 degrees is what we should be expecting tonight for our temperature if we can get...
We apologize for that. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties with our weather system, but Virginia, is there anything you wanted to add to that forecast?
I think actually if you would like us to go back to it after the break, we can definitely do that. Otherwise, it's just going to warm up from here through the end of the week. It's been a lot colder of a year than we saw last year. And the main thing is, we're in an El Nino year, which means for us here in the Southwest that things are going to be cooler. We're going to see a lot more precipitation. That's why even our rain totals for the year are a lot higher than they would be on an average year. We're already 2 inches above what we should expect for the end of the year. So it's pretty nice. I think. Personally, I love the cold weather and I would love to see more of it. And it's been a great semester in weather here at the U of A.
I agree. I love winter.
I mean, I like
here
it.
At least.
Well, depending on how cold it gets, though.
Yeah.
I've been giving you the corniest segs of the whole semester, but I know you love them though. You knew it was coming.
I do. I expect them from you, Michael, and it wouldn't be UATV without it.
I'll expect a whole lot more next semester. Thank you, Virginia.
You're welcome.
With football season over, all eyes are on Wildcat basketball, who just finished up tournament games against Santa Clara, Providence, and Boise State during the week.
We'll have a recap of how the Cats fared in Anaheim, along with all your other Wildcat sports news after the break.
What are you guys doing?
Working.
Continue.
Hi, it's David Hasselhoff, the Hawk. Get Hawk with UATV. Stay tuned. Don't change the dial.
Sorry about that. We figured out our technical difficulties. So Virginia, if you want to finish up your recap of the weather.
Of course, I'd like to just jump right back into that 5-day forecast. And of course, technical difficulties happen. And it's just so funny that they happened in the last show this semester. So tomorrow, 62 degrees outside. And as I was saying, things are going to start to jump back into motion. 69 degrees by Wednesday, so above average by Wednesday. And then just below on Thursday, so right around average Wednesday and Thursday. And then Friday, we're going to jump all the way to 70 and then 74 by Saturday. So things are just going to start to cool off, warm up as we make our way into the weekend, even less time left in school. So it's going to be a nice change for us here who are kind of expecting the cool weather as we make our way into the Christmas break, the holiday break.
The Cats were in Orange County over the weekend for the John Wooden Legacy Tournament. Now we'll hear from Danielle Fork with a summary of the scores and stats for this week in Arizona athletics.
Welcome back from Thanksgiving break. For those of you that were too busy eating pie, I've got the highlights and scores of the games you missed. Men's basketball spent their break in California, competing in the DirecTV Wooden Legacy. On Thursday, Ryan Anderson led the team to a close overtime win against Santa Clara. Anderson had 17 points and 11 rebounds. This win advanced them to the semifinals to face Providence on Friday, who they fell to for their first loss of the season with a score of 69-65. Anderson led the team again with 27 points and 12 rebounds, but it just wasn't enough. They then competed on Sunday in the third-place game against Boise State, defeating them 68-59. Alonzo Trier and Kadeem Allen had 13 points each. Women's basketball had an exciting win on Friday over North Texas. Strong defense and an incredible game by Jalea Bennett led the Wildcats to a 51-44 victory. Bennett had 18 points for the Cats, and Brianna Workman was not far behind with 15. 3,144 fans gathered in McKale on Friday to watch Arizona volleyball take down the Sun Devils on senior night. In their final game of the regular season, the Wildcats defeated the Sun Devils in 4 hard-fought sets. Leading hitter Kalei Mao was out with a concussion, so Kendra Dowkey stepped up and led the team with 13 kills. Following this game, it was announced on Sunday that the Arizona volleyball team has earned its 3rd consecutive at-large selection to the NCAA tournament. Arizona will open the tournament on Friday against the first-round opponent, Western Kentucky, at 5 p.m. in Utah. Coming up this week, women's basketball will face New Mexico State on Wednesday here in the McKale Center. Men and women's swimming and diving travels to Austin for the Texas Invite on Thursday and Friday, and men's basketball heads to Washington on Saturday to face Gonzaga. That's all for sports. Back to you guys.
It's going to go to camera 2.
Thank you, Danielle, and thank you for watching our final show of the semester. I'm sad to announce that this will be my last show here at UATV. It's been a good run. I want to thank my whole crew, everyone here at UATV, and all of you for watching the shows that I've anchored.
Toby, I just want to say before we go that, it's been an absolute pleasure having you as co-anchor. You've been, so professional. You laugh at all of my jokes, even if they're not funny. And, I'm really going to miss you for next semester.
Thank you, Michael.
But if you miss us over the break, you can watch all our past shows on our YouTube channel at UATV CH3. Or you can give us a like on Facebook for updates from us over winter break. Thank you and for tuning into UATV 3. Good night, and we'll see you in 2016.
Oh, you guys killed it.
On my cell phone, late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone, late night when you need my love. And I know when that hotline blink, that can only mean one thing. I know when that hotline blink, that can only mean one thing. Ever since I left the city, you got a reputation for yourself now. Everybody knows and I feel left out. Girl, you got me down, you got me stressed out. 'Cause ever since I left the city